He became the richest man in the world. He was just a shy kid from South Africa who loved computers. This is the full story, how Elon Musk got rich. Elon Reeve Musk was born on June 28, 1971 in Pretoria, South Africa. His mother, May Musk, was a model and dietitian. She raised 3 children largely on her own after the divorce, when Elon was just 9 years old. Elon's father, Elon Musk, was an engineer, which Elon later discussed as emotionally difficult and not a good person. In early years, Elon was a quiet child who spent hours reading sci-fi books and programming. Teachers and classmates noticed that Elon seemed to be in his own head. He was an avid reader who could get lost in books for 10 hours a day. At one point, doctors even tested his hearing because he often didn't respond. They realized he was just daydreaming. He was known as a nerd at school and was bullied. But at age of 12, he created and sold his first video game, Blaster, for $500. At just 17 years old, Elon decided to leave South Africa to avoid mandatory military service during the apartheid era. He wanted to seek greater opportunities. Elon obtained Canadian citizenship through his mother, who was born in Saskatchewan, Canada. In 1989, he moved to Ontario, attending Queen's University in Kingston. At Queen's University, Elon developed strong debating skills and learned how to network. After 2 years, Elon transferred to the University of Pennsylvania. While he was there, he and his roommate Adeo Resi rented a large house and turned it into a nightclub to pay rent. After these years, he finished 2 degrees, one in physics and one in economics. During these years, Elon became more obsessed with 3 fields: the internet, clean energy, space exploration. In 1995, Elon Musk was just 24 years old and accepted to Stanford University, California. When he arrived in California, after 2 days, he dropped out of Stanford University because he believed the internet was going to change the world, and the world outside of campus was exploding with opportunity. Elon told his brother Kimball Musk about his idea to start an online business, directory and mapping service for newspapers. They scraped together money, borrowed small office space from Palo Alto's University Avenue, and began building what became Zip2, his first company. Zip2 was basically a digital city guide, kind of like a mix between Google Maps and Yelp, before either of those existed. The idea was to help newspapers move their classified ads and business listings online. This was 1995, when the internet was just at the starting point, before local businesses had websites. Elon and his brother were showering at the gym, sleeping at the office, coding all night, and demoing their software during the day to potential clients. They were cold calling newspapers and door-to-door pitching. Elon was pitching to everyone to create a network. Once they convinced a few small papers to try the service, they used that as social proof to get meetings with bigger newspapers. Eventually, they caught the attention of Moore Davidow Ventures, a Silicon Valley venture capital firm. The VC firm invested $3 million, giving Zip2 the capital it needed to expand. However, the investors also brought in a new CEO to replace Elon because they felt he was too inexperienced to run the company. With new funding and a professional management team, Zip2 grew fast. They signed contracts with major newspapers like the New York Times, the Chicago Tribune. By 1998, Zip2 had become one of the most promising internet startups in Silicon Valley. It wasn't as flashy as some dot-com companies, but it was profitable, and that caught the attention of larger tech firms. In February 1999, Compaq Computer Corporation, one of the biggest PC makers of the time, bought Zip2 for $307 million in cash and $34 million in stock options. At just 27 years old, Elon Musk earned $22 million from the sale. His brother Kimball made about $15 million. For Elon, this was life-changing money. But he didn't buy yachts or mansions. He immediately started planning his next project. Instead of retiring, Elon immediately started working on his next idea, something far more ambitious, to revolutionize the banking industry. That idea was X.com, It was one of the first online banks, years before people trusted doing financial transactions on the internet. Elon believed that money itself could be moved as easily as email. You could send cash instantly to anyone, anywhere, using only an email address. Around the same time, another startup called Confinity had a product called PayPal, which let people send payments via email. It was simpler and more practical than X.com's complex banking system. In March 2000, X.com merged with Confinity. Elon became CEO of the combined company. The merger combined Elon's financial vision with Confinity's working payment technology. Late 2000, Elon wanted to rebrand everything as X.com, believing it had stronger long-term branding potential. Many employees, especially from Confinity, disagreed. They thought X.com sounded like a corn site and that PayPal had much better recognition. There were also technical disagreements over which platform and codebase to use. While Elon was on a trip to Australia in September 2000, the board voted to replace him as CEO. Peter Thiel became the new CEO. Anyways, Elon remained the largest shareholder and stayed on the board. The company kept focused entirely on PayPal and became wildly popular, especially among eBay users who needed a fast, easy way to pay for auctions. By 2001, PayPal had millions of users and was growing at a viral pace. The company went public in February 2002 at a valuation of about $1.5 billion. Just a few months after PayPal's initial public offering, eBay bought PayPal for $1.5 billion in stock in July 2002. Elon was the largest individual shareholder, owning about 11.7% of PayPal's shares. His payout was around $180 million in eBay stock. So now Elon Musk had gained net worth of $180 million. After selling PayPal, Elon wanted to do something big for humanity, not just another internet company. Elon's early idea in 2001 was to send a small greenhouse to Mars to grow plants. He hoped to inspire public interest and increase NASA's budget. Elon went to Russia to buy intercontinental ballistic missiles to use as launch vehicles, but it turned out Russian officials mocked him and demanded $8 million per rocket, which Elon thought was outrageous. On the flight back, Elon realized, we can build our own rockets. 2002, Elon's goal was to reduce the cost of space travel by 10 times and eventually enable humans to live on Mars. He wanted to make rockets that were reusable, not disposable. Elon invested $100 million of his money to start SpaceX. Also in February 2004, Elon invested $6.5 million of his own money into Tesla's first funding round, becoming the company's largest shareholder and chairman of the board. Between 2006 and 2008, Elon tried to launch the Falcon 1 rocket. After the third launch, SpaceX was on the verge of bankruptcy. Tesla ran out of money because their first car, Roadster, was over budget and behind schedule. Elon thought both companies were almost over, but then September 28, 2008, he launched Falcon 1 fourth time and it reached orbit successfully. It became the first privately developed liquid-fueled rocket to reach orbit. 6 weeks later, Tesla raised $40 million in emergency convertible debt financing. Tesla received a $40 million lifeline from investors, including Elon himself. He put about $20 million of his own money. Other early investors contributed the rest. This was to keep Tesla long enough to continue building and delivering the Roadster. Elon also took over as CEO of Tesla, replacing founder Martin Eberhard. Around the same week, SpaceX won a $1.6 billion NASA contract to deliver cargo to the International Space Stations. That deal saved SpaceX. 2 years later, in 2010, Tesla went public. It's the first U.S. car maker to do so since Ford in 1956. The initial public offering raised to $226 million, and for the first time, Musk's paper net worth jumps to roughly $1 billion. By 2012, SpaceX successfully docks its Dragon capsule with the International Space Station and made it gain more investors. Tesla also launched its first full-size premium electric sedan, the Model S. It received rave reviews, and investors started believing Tesla could compete with big car companies. Tesla's stock price began to rise, and so did the company's market value. By the end of 2012, SpaceX was valued at over $1 billion, and Tesla was on its way to becoming one of the most promising tech automakers. Elon's net worth grew to $2 to $3 billion. By 2013, Tesla turned its first profit. Its stock price soars. Meanwhile, SpaceX begins working on reusable rockets, the key to making space travel affordable. In 2015, SpaceX landed a rocket booster vertically for the first time. The world watches in awe, something NASA never achieved with its launch vehicles. Same year, Elon's launched Powerwall for home energy storage and invested heavily in AI and battery factories. By 2016, Elon's portfolio expands with his companies and Neuralink, and his net worth was roughly $10 to $12 billion. In 2017, the Model 3 began production, Tesla's first mass-market car. It was a chaotic and exhausting process. But when Tesla finally scales production in 2018, the company turned profitable again, and Wall Street took notice. At the same time, SpaceX launches the Falcon Heavy, the most powerful rocket since the Saturn V, carrying Elon's red Tesla Roadster into orbit with Starman at the wheel. By 2019, Tesla delivers nearly 400,000 vehicles, and SpaceX begins launching Starlink satellites, a global internet constellation that will soon number in the thousands. Elon's net worth was now $20 to $25 billion. SpaceX achieves a historic milestone. It launched NASA astronauts to the ISS aboard Crew Dragon, marking the first private human spaceflight in history. Tesla's success accelerates too. Investors finally realize the electric revolution is here. Tesla's stock price skyrockets by more than 700% in 2020 alone. SpaceX's valuation also surges past $100 billion thanks to Starlink's expansion. By 2021, Elon Musk's net worth exceeds $200 billion. He became the richest person in the world, surpassing Jeff Bezos. In 2022, he acquires Twitter for $44 billion. Elon later rebranded it to X, reviving the same name he used for his 1999 company, X.com, aka PayPal. End of 2022, Elon's net worth was $250 to $270 billion. By 2023, SpaceX has launched over 6,000 Starlink satellites, providing internet to remote regions and generating billions in revenue. Meanwhile, Starship, SpaceX's fully reusable interplanetary rocket, begins test flights. Each launch gets closer to perfection and closer to Mars. Tesla continues to expand, building factories in Germany, China, and Texas, and rolling out new vehicles like the Cybertruck and Model Y. Elon's companies are now shaping space, energy, AI, and transportation all at once. By 2025, Elon Musk's net worth is $500 billion. From near bankruptcy in 2008 to controlling the future of cars, rockets, and the internet, Elon Musk's story from 2009 to 2025 is a masterclass in risk, vision, and relentless perseverance. He once said, "When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are against you." Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe and share this video to a friend or a family member. Thank you. See you in the next video.